Have you ever felt like you were facing an impossible situation? A challenge so big that all you could feel was despair? Maybe that's where you are right now. Looking up at a mountain that feels way too high to climb, or stuck in a valley so deep you can't see any light. You feel forgotten, overwhelmed, and just completely hopeless. In times like these, we often look for a word of comfort, and a go-to verse for many is Isaiah 41:10. We see it on coffee mugs, we see it in greeting cards. But what if I told you that before this verse was a comfort? It was a battle cry for a nation on the brink of total destruction. That behind these beautiful words is a story of a people who had lost absolutely everything and felt like God himself had abandoned them. This isn't just a nice thought, it's a divine promise that was forged in the fire of a national crisis. And understanding the secret behind this verse, the desperation it came from, is what will really unlock its power as a weapon against the impossible odds you're facing in your own life. To really get the power of this promise, we have to go back in time, not just years, but centuries. These words in Isaiah were written for the people of Israel during a time of incredible political chaos and fear. For generations, they lived under the shadow of terrifying empires. First came the Assyrians, who just steamrolled kingdoms and scattered people. Then, the Babylonians. Now, imagine this. You're a citizen of Judah. The Babylonian army has just swept through your homeland. They've burned your cities, torn down the walls of Jerusalem, and worst of all, destroyed the temple, the one place on earth where God's presence was supposed to live. You and what is left of your family are chained up and marched hundreds of miles away, into exile in Babylon. You're now a prisoner in a foreign country, surrounded by foreign gods and a culture that's not your own. Everything that gave you your identity is gone. Your home, your nation, your freedom, even your place to worship. The silence from heaven feels deafening. And it's right there, in that moment of complete hopelessness, when the people were asking, has God forgotten us? Has he abandoned his promise? That God speaks. Chapters 40 through 55 of Isaiah are often called the book of comfort for this exact reason. They were written to a people who had every reason to give up. God's people were scattered, scared, and felt totally powerless. They felt like a forgotten failure in the eyes of the world. And it's into this deep, dark, national crisis that God interrupts their despair with one of the most powerful promises he ever made. He doesn't just offer sympathy. He makes a declaration. He says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse isn't just one promise. It's actually a 5-part promise of God's commitment to his people. Let's break it down, because each piece is a weapon against a specific fear you might be facing right now. First, God says, "Fear not, for I am with you." This is the foundation for everything else. God doesn't start by saying, "Don't be afraid, because it's all going to work out." He starts by giving the reason not to be afraid, his presence. For the Israelites stuck in Babylon, feeling totally alone and cut off from God, this was huge. God wasn't trapped in the ruins of the temple back in Jerusalem. He was right there with them in the middle of their suffering. For you today, this means that in your moment of deepest loneliness, whether that's a hospital room, a quiet apartment, or even a crowded room where you feel invisible, you are not alone. God's presence is the ultimate antidote to fear. Second, he promises, "Be not dismayed, for I am your God." That word dismayed in the original Hebrew means to look around in a panic, to be completely overwhelmed by what's happening. It's that frantic feeling of looking for a way out when there are no good options. God's answer to this panic is a reminder of their relationship. He says, "I am your God." This is personal. He's reminding them and us of his binding commitment. It's like a loving father telling his child, "Stop looking at the storm, look at me. I belong to you, and you belong to me." Our situation can change in a heartbeat, but our relationship with him is solid. When we feel discouraged, he is still our God. Third, God declares, "I will strengthen you." The Israelites were broken. They had no army, no king, and no power. They were weak. God doesn't just offer them a pat on the back. He promises to give them his own strength. The Hebrew word for strength in here means to make someone courageous. This isn't about God giving you the strength to carry your burden by yourself. It's about him filling you with the courage and power that isn't your own. When you feel like you have nothing left to give spiritually, emotionally, physically, God promises his strength will be enough to keep you going. Just like the Apostle Paul wrote later, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Fourth, he says, "I will help you." This is where the promise gets really practical. The Hebrew word for help here suggests a divine rescue, like a warrior coming to your aid in the middle of a battle. This isn't just a passive feeling of support. It's God actively stepping in for you. For the Israelites, this promise came true in a way they never could have imagined. Isaiah would go on to prophesy that a foreign king, Cyrus, would be the one to conquer Babylon and let the Jews go home, a shocking fulfillment of God's active help. For us, it's the promise that God isn't just watching our struggles from a distance. He's our defender, and He often works in ways we would never expect. And finally, the fifth promise, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This is the big finale of the verse. In ancient culture, the right hand was the symbol of power, authority, and victory. But notice the verse doesn't say that you have to hold on to God. It says He will uphold you. It's a picture of a father grabbing his child's hand to make sure they don't fall. And it's not just any hand, it's His righteous right hand. This means His support is not only strong, but it's also perfect, just, and good. His own character and power become the foundation holding you up when you feel like you're about to collapse. This isn't just an old message for people in exile thousands of years ago. It's a timeless promise that speaks right into our lives today. That history of desperation is what gives this verse its power. If this promise was enough for a nation that was facing total destruction, it's more than enough for the personal battles you and I face. So, how do we make this promise a weapon? When you get a scary health diagnosis and fear about the future starts to creep in, you can hold on to the promise, I will strengthen you. Your body might feel weak, but His strength is made perfect in weakness. When you're facing financial trouble, the bills are piling up, and you're dismayed, panicking, and looking for a solution, you can anchor yourself to the promise, I am your God. Your provision doesn't ultimately depend on your job or the economy. It rests in the hands of the God who has a personal commitment to you. When you feel totally isolated by grief, a broken relationship, or depression, and the loneliness feels crushing, you can declare the promise, fear not, for I am with you. You are never, ever truly alone. His presence is your greatest comfort. When you're in a fight that feels impossible to win, whether it's an addiction, a family crisis, or a spiritual battle, and you just need someone to intervene, you cry out for the promise, I will help you. You're not fighting by yourself. God Himself is your warrior and your help. And when you feel like you are about to fall apart, like you just can't hold on for one more second, you can rest in the security of the promise, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. It's not about how tightly you can grip Him. It's about the fact that He is gripping you. This verse isn't a passive, feel-good quote. It's an active strategy. Memorize it. Write it down where you'll see it every single day. Pray it out loud and put your own specific fears right into its promises. This is how an ancient promise becomes a modern-day weapon. The secret of Isaiah 41:10 is that it was born in the darkest of nights. It was spoken to a people who had lost all hope, to remind them that their God was still present, still personal, still powerful, and still victorious. He is not a distant observer. He's an active sustainer. So today, whatever impossible thing you're facing, hear these words not as ancient history, but as a direct promise from God to you. Let's read it one more time. So, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. If this message encouraged you today, please consider subscribing for more videos that explore the real-life promises of God. I also believe that someone you know needs to hear this, so please feel free to share it with them. And finally, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How has this verse been a weapon in your own life? Your story could be the very thing someone else needs to read today. Let's close in prayer. Father, thank you for this incredible promise. For every person watching who is filled with fear, I pray you'd make your presence known to them. For those who are dismayed, remind them that you are their God. Strengthen the weak, help those in a battle, and uphold every single person who feels like they're about to fall. Let this promise be an anchor for their soul. In Jesus' name, Amen.